Welcome back. In this topic, you'll learn some time management strategies specific to planning your week ahead so that you have more time for the things you actually like doing. This way, you can feel less guilty when you spend time doing them. In the previous topics, you learned about how to set up your planner and why it is the best tool for efficiency. We learned that the first step in managing your time is setting up your planner. And the second step is to plan the big picture using a monthly calendar and the major assignment chunking sheet. This topic is step 3. Have you ever seen one of these little weekly pill boxes? Believe it or not, they're a great tool for efficiency. Your parents or grandparents might have one. They set aside a few minutes each week to organize their medicine for the week ahead. This is a great time management tool, and we're going to use that same idea to help save you time and energy each week. The big idea here is that you should set aside about 15 minutes every week to plan for the upcoming week. It is extremely important that you plan this time and follow through. Most people find that the best time to do this is Sunday evening. Because people tend to have more accountability when there are other people involved, you may want to involve family members or friends in a weekly planning session as well. Seriously, this is probably one of the most important activities for getting more done each week, with more time for fun stuff too. Now let's talk about what you will be doing during those 15 minutes each week. Use the weekly layout section of your planner to write in your upcoming schedule. Here is an example of a weekly layout section. If there's space, start by writing down your weekly goals. If there isn't one, you may want to stick a sticky note in to write them somewhere on the page. This will be a visual reminder to help keep you focused on your goals. Next, I'm going to focus on just the after-class planning section. If your agenda or planner doesn't have this, I highly suggest that you use one that does, or print out one of our copies and staple it into your planner. You can find it attached to this topic in the workshop or in the printable resources packet. Let's review the basic time priorities that you created earlier. Essential priorities are activities that you absolutely must do. They tend to carry significant consequences if they don't get done. Secondary priorities are the fun activities or things that you like to do, but you still want to make time for them in your day whenever possible. And luxury priorities are the things that you do after you have completed the other activities. To plan your weekly schedule, you'll want to start by pulling out your priorities chart that you created when you completed the priorities topic. It should be in your personal study plan. Start with the activities that have a fixed time, such as school classes, or in this case, say a family dinner. Then add in essential activities that don't have a fixed time, such as chores or sleeping. Next, write down all of your secondary activities. This includes scheduling a part-time job, sports practices, music lessons, your social schedule, etc. Write down plans for events that you don't really want to miss, such as going to the movies with friends or plans to meet a family member for lunch next weekend. Finally, write in time to study and complete assignments. It's also really important that you plan a few minutes to review and summarize your notes nightly using the 137 study hack that is covered in the note-taking topic of this course. You don't need a lot of time for this. It says here an hour, and that's really way more than necessary, but it is important that you don't forget to plan the time for it. You don't have to schedule every minute of your day. Particularly at the end of the day, leave extra room in case some activities take longer than you planned. If you don't need the time, you can enjoy a relaxing activity from your luxury category. Here's a view of the whole week in the planning section of the agenda. Notice you should also have included weekend activities. Finally, don't forget to write down a time for your weekly planning update. If you write it down, you're more likely to keep up with the activity until it becomes a habit. Every Sunday, or whichever day that you choose, after you finish updating your weekly schedule, take 2 or 3 minutes to update your monthly calendar. Double check that you're on task with any projects and see if there's anything that you need to adjust. You can see this listed right here, Sunday at 7 p.m. in this example. Again, this whole process should take you less than 15 minutes, but it will keep you organized and on track all week long. Plus, you won't have to feel guilty about the luxury activities you do because you will know you have time for them. Weekly planning can also be done on digital calendars. Simply switch to the weekly view, or in this case, a 4-day view. You can see here how that same process would look when written in a Google Calendar, for example. For the activity in this topic, we will add to the study materials plan that you began previously. In this topic, all you need to do is write down the day and time that you will be doing your weekly planning sessions. The time can be approximate. For example, you can just write morning or evening. You can also adjust this time as you go if you think that there is a better day or time that would work for you. Just don't forget to update your study material plan if you do make a change. Then it's time to try out the time management strategies that you've learned. Hold your first weekly planning session and try planning out your week ahead. Then, during the upcoming week, try to stick to your plan as much as possible and adjust it the following week when you do your next weekly session. In this topic, you learned about the importance of setting aside 15 minutes each week to plan your week schedule ahead of time. You also learned what to do during those 15 minutes using a paper planner or a virtual calendar.